Well, good morning, everybody. We out here in our favorite place, O'Day Landing. Oh yeah, we ain't been out here in 2 weeks. Water been kind of messed up. Temperature changing, up and down. Indian summers, the freezing, all in one day. But this is Louisiana. I want y'all to stay tuned for On and the How To. We're gonna discuss how to locate sac-a-lait without a Livescope. Been doing it for years. So y'all stay tuned for On and the How To.
Welcome again, another one of these episodes, the Eric and Uncle on the Go Show. Today, Eric wants to take a moment and do a bit of a how-to presentation.
That's right.
Basically, how to get something done that you might or might not otherwise think about in a manner that we present it. And again, we go ahead and make a disclaimer that we offer suggestions on things as we do them, as we have done them, things that have worked out for us. Very possibly, if you partake of some of the things that we say in combination or in part, they may very well work for you. And the thing he wants to look at today is how to locate the fish that we pursue, the ever elusive, sometimes, sac-a-lait. And the things that we want to do is that when you come out here, everybody's not set to the same standard, to do the same things, accomplish the same issues, even though the target remains the same. We've got people that come out here with Livescopes and whatnot, the high technology approach to it, and essentially that eliminates a lot of things that you otherwise might do in pursuit of sac-a-lait. But what we're going to do is probably relate more to the people that don't have Livescope, the people that don't utilize that really high-end technological approach to it. But the one thing that we do advocate is that if you become adept at eliminating some of the waters that are non-productive prior to your fishing, that's the first good step in taking to locating the fish. If you have a lot of fluctuations in the water conditions where you fish, very similar to the way they are many times where we fish. We get a lot of rain from time to time. That rain falls upon the lands, and the lands then drain into the waterways. When that happens, you have whatever contaminants that are on land wash into the waterways. If it's organic matter breaking down on land, guess what? That organic matter is going to come into the waterway. What you going to do? It's going to change the acidity of that water because that organic matter is extremely acidic. And when that happens, you're going to change the pH levels. And the pH levels really don't go from one extreme to the other, but they do impart what is probably more comfortable, less comfortable to your target species. Some of our game fish are more reactive to incremental changes in pH. Than others. Some of your most sturdy-hearted fish, such as your so-called rough fish, they're less affected by it. But your bass, your sac-a-lait, things such as this, they may be more sensitive to fluctuations in pH. And if that water gets to be too acidic, the fish may not leave the waterway, but they're less reactive to doing the things that you would normally expect them to do, less reactive to your bait presentations, the presence of your bait in their immediate environments, things such as that. So if you can find a pH that is appropriate for the species that you target. We look at the mean on the pH levels. It's a 7, it's a neutral. But if you get closer to the lower numbers, more acidic, higher numbers above 7 up to 14, well, then it becomes more alkaline. And extremes one way or the other won't necessarily work for you, but within a window, they can work in your favor. So we stick towards the means and what is most appropriate in the best available water. And again, the other thing you want to look at too is the oxygen content in the water. If you have a means to measure oxygen, your O2 content in the water, well then the more enriched oxygen you have in the water, the more active your fish will tend to be. If you've got a situation that's depleting the oxygen in the water, that could will very well work against you. So if you can maximize your pH in the most comfortable level for the fish that you target, you have a supportive oxygen O2 content in the water. Next thing you want to look at is cover, if they have available cover. And none of this means anything because your fish that we target, in particular the sac-a-lait, they tend to follow the bait fish. If you find the bait fish, as the bait fish move, so shall the pursuant preyers. And that's your sac-a-lait, your bass, all these fish that feed on other fish. If you find your bait fish, you stay on top of the bait fish. If you move as the bait fish move, you go where the bait fish go. Guess what? Your sac-a-lait is soon to show. So this is what we look at doing. And simplified, you can go into all kinds of different little gambits of this, that, and the other on locations of fish. And of course, the guys with the, this, that, and the other scope here, there, and the other, well, they're going to shortcut, and that's okay. It is what it is. But everybody doesn't have Livescope. Everybody doesn't have that. And if you don't have it, even if you have it, sometimes it doesn't serve you if the pH factors are so that the fish are not active. You can see them and still can't catch them. So the deal is, if you get the things in place that favor the concept or the act of catching fish, and you find your fish very responsive, very reactive to what you're doing, guess what? There's a good chance you might turn an otherwise ordinary day into a special kind of sac-a-lait day. So that's all guys with the how-to. That's what Eric wanted. Hopefully he got that. And hopefully it's a benefit to someone other than just he and I. All right, y'all take care of yourselves. All right.
There you go, y'all. That's Onk and the how to locate sac-a-lait. Y'all follow a couple of his steps, and you're going to increase your chances on catching sac-a-lait. We guarantee you, we've been doing it a long time. But we're going to get out here on this water right now and catch some sac-a-lait. Y'all stay tuned. Later. Mr. Glenn, tell us about that tournament y'all got coming up.
It's February 19th. It's gonna be out of Tiger Pole Landing. And Jeff and them gonna cook. They're gonna do everything. They cook at every one of them. I don't know what they cooking, but they gonna cook. And it's gonna be safe daylight to 3 o'clock. It's gonna be a good turnout, have fun. Everybody get something to eat. Especially in February. The fish ought to be spawning. Ought to be ready to be on the beds, hopefully by then, or getting ready to get on them anyway. So it's gonna be a good turnout. I hope we have a lot of people come out and fish this thing, and that'll make it a lot better.
All right, y'all, that's Mr. Glenn. Y'all got all the information for the tournament coming out at Lake Lorette, right?
Yeah, Tiger Pole Landing.
Tiger Pole Landing, y'all. If you think you're a sac-a-lait catcher, y'all come on out.
February 19th.
Get with Mr. Glenn and Mr. Jeff Rodriguez. All right?
Well, good morning. And once again, we're going to come at you with a safety corner for today. And we're well into the month of January 2022. And today's safety corner, we're going to briefly touch upon something that I've seen just this past week. I saw 2 incidents of it, and that is boats on the side of the road. boat stuck on side of the road, boat trail on side of the road, and it was very apparent what had taken place, and that was axle bearing failure on the boats. Now, when this thing happens, many times you don't get that telltale precursor that you would like to get to inform you of something that's about to happen. And things are going to happen with the boats, but if you're prepared, and you do prepare, and you have preparatory steps that you take to avoid issue, the things that happen will tend to happen for you. If you don't do that, the things that happen tend to happen to you. So what we want to do is try to minimize the things that tend to happen to you. On your boat trailers, it is imperative, or it should be, until something happens. It should be imperative that you do schedule checks on your boat trailer. We're coming into the spring of the year, and as you come into spring of the year, let that represent all of the past year that has gone, all the fishing trips that you've made and have not done this. It's more than just a walk by visual scan. You need to inspect your boat trailer axles and axle bearings. And if you've been, as you should have been doing, applying your grease to the zerk fittings on your grease receptacles down there and kept them up to par, chances are you won't have a real problem. But eventually everything wears out. And if you've not done that on a regular or scheduled basis, or you have more than one party taking the boat out, well then chances are you have dried bearings, and when dried bearings result into bearing failure, you wind up with the wheel separated from the axle. And you have issues like that, and you have a boat that's non-mobile, sitting on the side of the road, ready to contribute to an accident, depending on where it is and how it's left. So if you want to try to do something that will preempt that issue, even when you've taken care, at least do an inspection every 6 months. Get that boat trailer, jack it up off the ground. But now when you jack that wheel up off the ground, you got to make sure that you don't create another type of series of incidents or accidents that can occur in the process of inspection. I would suggest or advise you to go ahead and couple your tow vehicle to your trailer. Couple it, latch it down, make sure that it's fixed, apply the brakes on your truck, emergency brake, put it in park, whatever it is. If it's a standard, apply the emergency brakes. Keep that the way it's not going to move. Go ahead and chock your off tire that's not going to be elevated off the ground. Chock it forward and back to prevent movement. Then you get that tire that wheel you're going to inspect up off the ground. When you have it up off the ground, if you've got it up and there's any degree of mobility, a shift or whatever, well then you want to make sure that you put a jack in place to get it up. Then you want to use a jack stand to ascertain that this thing, should it come off the jack, it won't come down and create injury to you or someone else or damage to your equipment. You get it up in there. Now what you want to do, keep your body parts from underneath the wheel. You want to grab that tire, if you can, top and bottom, and see if you can move them. See if that tire as such moves in, moves out. And what you're doing at that point in time is that you're checking the axial movement or axial play. And if you have any axial play that exceeds what should be, your bearings may already be depreciated to a point that they require replacement, the inner and the outer bearing. If that's the case, you need to note that and schedule that to be done. Rotate it around. If you have that and you got any play that you notice in there, that'll be radio play. If you got radio play in there, well then that tells you also, same thing. Conclude again. It might be time to get my bearings changed out. It's much better to plan this type of activity and get it done. Prior to it, sitting on the side of the road, somebody slamming into it, you having an accident in the process of trying to get it off the road on one wheel. Because if you don't have bearing it could fail in such a fashion that that wheel or that tire doesn't even turn at all. You got to drag it off the road. And that's not a good thing to happen because you don't always have a shoulder that you can properly or safely place it. So get it done, get it checked. If you have axial movement in that bearing, you have radial movement play in that bearing, it qualifies a replacement. Get it done. And by all means, don't replace one side. Get them both done, inner and out, inboard and outboard bearing. Get them changed out. And there may be a little bit of cost involved, but it's a very minor cost to the consequences of not getting it done. So this is what we suggest to you, especially now. Like I said, we're mid-January of the new year. So now's the time to ready yourself for springtime fishing, summertime fishing forthcoming, and get ready for it. And if you do these things as we suggest, we believe they'll serve you well. If you don't do them, well, you'll think about it again sometime. Or you'll see another vehicle sitting on the side of the road with axle bearing failure. This is Rick and Uncle on the Go Show. We're getting ready to go see if we can find us a sac-a-lait. Take care.
Well, y'all, that's Uncle in the safety corner. Don't forget to do your post and pre-inspection on your boat. Very important. Take care of your boat, take care of your equipment. It's gonna take care of you. This is Earth and Unc Safety Corner. We're gonna get back with y'all. We're gonna get out here on the water because it's gonna be a sac-a-lait kind of day, y'all. See you later. All right, y'all. Made it in the boat now. We had to do our how-to show for y'all and safety corner, like we start every day. I tell you one thing, it's a beautiful day out here today, I think it's gonna be a bad day to be a sac-a-lait. What you think about it,
I think you might be just right, son. You might be right.
Yeah, buddy. I tell y'all, you know, it's kind of chilly out here this morning. What is it, about 47 degrees, but supposed to be warming up to about 69. I hope you find us, you know.
Hey.
I tell you what, this water don't look too good over here.
Yeah, the water.
It's in the main channel, though.
Water turned upside down.
We're gonna have to try to locate these fish like I discussed this morning. You know, take the pH of the water, you know, color. You know, we're gonna do it all. But we're gonna find the sac-a-lait today,
Well, I think it might be as close as we have been to get ready to put the hammer down so we go and find this sac-a-lait. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me something.
Listen.
Them last fish you clean. Yeah, in a row in them?
Yep.
Oh. You getting ready to go and spawn in here soon, huh?
Well, I think if the weather lines out a bit, the fish can get on some type of schedule. As long as we go through 3 or 4 relatively warm days, and then we hit with 3 or 4 extremely cold, that's relative cold days, it kind of upsets the balance a little bit. It kind of staggers and prolongs the spawning season I get ready for it. So we had egg roll and sac-a-lait that we cleaned for the last few trips. But another little indicator you'll find is that in that egg roll, you start seeing a little bit of blood in it. That's an indication also that you're getting extremely close to the actual spawn itself. But we ain't there yet. Still, I don't think the fish have staged up with the intent to spawn yet. Everything's in its stage of preparation. They're getting ready. They're ready for the water temps to get where they want them, 62 to 66, 67 degrees, somewhere in there. When the water temp gets to that point, not surface temp, but the water temp, I think they'll be ready to go.
That's from the sac-a-lait doctor, y'all. Look,
Hey.
You got your shoes on?
I got my shoes on, both of them.
I don't know why it smell like fish out here today, though. It smell like fish,
You got a good choice there, partner. Dude, good choice. Let me see what you got. Oh, you only get one shoe on.
Go ahead with that, oh. I see a lot of activity though. I see a lot of bait fish jumping out in the main channel. I hope that's a good sign.
Yeah, well, we may have a great activity, but again, going back to the little how-to that we did,
Yeah.
what we're going to look for right off the bat is the presence of bait fish in areas that potentially will fish, and that'll determine if we even win a line. If we don't see bait fish or balls of bait fish, that is primarily shad, and if we don't see that, well, then we're going to just keep rolling until we do.
All right, Unc, I know we got a late start today, Unc. What time the fish gonna be in the boat?
With the water being like it is, we don't have any fish, in my opinion, waiting on us. We're going to have to roll until we find them. So I'd say 20 minutes after we find them, we'll have first fish in the boat.
20 minutes after we find them, y'all. I can't pinpoint it today. But I tell you what. Unc, hold up. Unc, what's the word for the day, Unc?
Don't matter what you do, no matter what else you might say. Let's turn this thing into a straight up sac-a-lait kind of thing.
Y'all heard Unc, huh? No matter what you say or what you do, we gonna turn this up to a straight up sac-a-lait kind of day. So watch out, sac-a-lait, cause it's a bad day to be a sac-a-lait. Put it down, on. Down to rock and roll. Got there, Unc?
Said sac-a-lait kind of day. But look like we got a nice sac-a-lait.
What, Unc?
Right off the bat.
First sac-a-lait of the day. You say within 20 minutes, Unc?
First sac-a-lait of the day.
That's right.
Nice fish, huh?
That's for you, Hamp.
Oh yeah, Brother Hamp. Brother Hamp. All right. First sac-a-lait of the day. Nice one. Fish act like he don't think he really caught. I guess when he feels that ice, it'll probably come to him.
Maybe a couple over. First sac-a-lait, y'all. Y'all paid attention. We don't told y'all this morning locating them. You know, good structure, good pH in the water. Yeah. Increase your odds of catching them, y'all.
He wasn't close to the bank, right? But one fish makes not a tie.
That's right, on. I'm gonna see what he's doing with what they're doing with this blue diamond.
Blue diamond?
Yeah, blue diamond.
Well, they're saying blue is the color of the day. Well, that might have been yesterday.
It could have been, no?
Oh, it could be today.
Could be. Well, we know what they're hitting. You know? But like you said, they don't make no pattern though.
Yeah, we know what one is.
Yeah, but one hit, huh?
That's all we got.
Yeah. He must have didn't come look at this boat. He didn't know that was Erkin Onk out there. Put them jaws on Onk hook, that's a wrap.
I know the line's 3 trips, 4 trips. We've caught stragglers.
Right.
Fish were scattered. There's more evidence that they're probably still scattered. And the first pattern is to realize there is no pattern.
All right, y'all. Sac-a-lait. That's sac-a-lait here.
Hey,
Hey.
when people hear you saying sac-a-lait, and something is maybe the ear not working right, or you ain't saying it right, tell them the difference between a sac-a-lait and sac-a-lait as seen on the show.
Well, you always hear us say king sac-a-lait. All right? When we say sac-a-lait, he's not a king. He's just a smaller sac-a-lait. That's a sac-a-lait.
Oh, I remember when James said something one time about, they talking about a sac-a-lait. What he talking about? I let him tell you. I'll let him tell you. I'll let Jimmy, I'll let Ricky tell you.
You got that on?
Eric, we got another one here.
What you talking about, on?
Here what Eric called a king sac-a-lait. Struggling for Eric. The king sac-a-lait. Hit way out in the deep water. We scanned this bank here. We found bait fish, ball of bait fish. This fish here was sitting right on the side of that ball. Way out in the deep.
Y'all doing any good?
A little bit.
Got a few.
We got a few. Couple nice ones. Sac-a-lait, that is.
Yeah.
Would you all happen to know the name of this canal?
No, I don't know the name of it.
That same answer everybody gives it. That must be the name of it. No name canal.
King sac-a-lait. King sac-a-lait. Lady eating sac-a-lait, y'all. That's what we out here for. Lady eating sac-a-lait. Yeah, oh yeah. That's what we like, right? And you know, it just late evening, y'all. Sometimes that's what it takes. Keep fishing. Well, y'all, the end of the day now. Well, it's been a rough one. You know, trying to find good water. I think we might have found good water in probably 300 yards of one canal. But there were some nice ones, the ones we caught. You know? Oh.
Hey.
What you think about today, Unc?
Well, I think we had a beautiful day as far as aesthetics go. Real pretty day. So many fishermen been on the go, back and forth. And we only saw one other fish caught, other than the ones we got. And most of the people we talked to came up 0. But the thing is, it's not about the fish count. It's about the fellowship and the good time and the safe day. So we had a very safe day. We're getting ready to put this Louisiana swamp in our rear view mirror and head on back to Goday's Landing.
That's right, Unc. I tell you what, I don't believe the mosquitoes out here like they are tonight. Gotta be what is it, about 40-something degrees?
The thing is, second week of January, and here we are fanning mosquitoes. Where else but South Louisiana?
That's the Louisiana swamp.
Freeze last night, dealing with mosquitoes today.
That's right.
Well.
All right, y'all, it's been a blessed day. Y'all don't forget to go to YouTube and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Eric and Unc on the Ghost Show. We see y'all next time. Put it down, Unc. Rock it out.